Hello and welcome everyone to our webinar. This time in a totally diverse topic. Always been doing something on GDPR and HIPAA, PCI DSS, PCI SSF, SOC 2 and stuff. And this time we've been doing this for like almost 5 years now, and we've been very diligent about it. And what has happened is that at the end of the webinar, we always ask our viewers to put down the topic. And for the past few webinars, of course, this was already there as a service line from our company, but we got these, heads up that can you please cover some area. Apparently, the standard is taking the US by storm. Actually, many companies are asking, and they are required to do it, and they are at sea as to what is required, how it is to be done, and stuff. So they said, can you please do a webinar on this? So here we are, and it is interestingly a very nice subject also. It is not otherwise. So welcome to a webinar on CMMC 2.0 compliance, understanding the requirements. Yeah. So you are already aware of the subjects of the areas that we are covering. I think you already must have received it as a part of your invite. Now we have thought of a series of webinars on this thing because even our team said that it's a very important standard, and we are providing it to a few clients, so it is required and it is very critical. Penalties are very high, so please take it very seriously. So of course, so I took it very seriously. So this is a basic introduction to CMMC, a brilliantly written standard, and so of course we'll be covering many things about the cyber domain practices, what it is, the various levels and features of the upgraded, whom it applies to. Of course, we'll be doing a touch and go. Okay, don't miss out on that, because this is the first thing, and I just have like 40 minutes on this. So we'll just be doing a touch and go on the topics, but they'll be covered in detail in our future. So future webinars, of course, gaining CPA points. If you attend, you get 1 CPA point, but you have to attend it till the end. You cannot quit in between. The reason is sometimes we get this audit queries from the certifying bodies, from these, like ISACA or ISC or PCI, whatever, that whether the person did attend the webinar. So we have to check the law. I don't check it, the team does. So, all right, am I audible to everyone? Hello, is my audio clear? I'm getting some messages that it is not. One sec. Okay, this is surprising. Actually, some are saying yes, some are saying no. Am I not audible at all? Okay, super. Thank you so much, everybody. Just okay. Okay. I'll hold my mic a bit closer. My sincere apologies, maybe, but thank you so much for reaching out. Anyway, okay. So you didn't miss much. I was just giving an introduction to the webinar. So anyway, so you have to attend till the end to gain the CPU from the webinars, and you can use it anywhere. And okay, that's our YouTube channel. We have got more than 2,000 subscribers. In all the probability that I see, it is the most subscribed channel actually on our on this subject area. I mean, right? So that's the link. If you've not already subscribed, we upload almost weekly videos on various contents. All are free. All are free. So and again, guys, if anybody has any problem in this, if anybody has any problem in the viewing of the content or hearing my voice, please do drop a message and I will attend to it immediately. All right. So as you go along, do drop in your queries in the chat box, and I will respond to you. Sometimes there are just too many queries, and so I'm not able to take it immediately. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, drop in your queries in the comment section. I will respond to you. And if you want any additional topics to be taken up, do drop me a line after the webinar, and we will consider. For example, the CMMC was a result of the suggestions by our dear audience. And this is about me. Okay, I've been in this area for more like almost 30 years. It just went by 3 decades almost. All right. So I've done a few things, quite a few things rather. I've got my own company, VISTA InfoSec. Quite a few of our clients are attending. So thank you for being there. And that's our international presence. We are there in US, UK, India, we're there in Canada, Middle East, Singapore, we have our office. So many things happening. And we are ourselves certifying body on many things, whether it is QSA, QPA, SSF, many things we do. Anyway, so these are our services, whether it is in compliance, governance, regulatory. We are there. Don't worry. This is not a marketing seminar or content from our side. That's the end of our company content. We'll get into the core of what is to be covered. And at the end of the survey of this webinar, please do leave a brief response as to what you think, how it was, and whether your critical feedbacks are most welcome. So, and again, if you wish to learn more about CMMC readiness, you can drop in a line. You can book a free call with one of our consultation experts. 15 minutes consultation we give for free. So feel free to drop us a line. Okay, so now jumping into the content. So the CMMC standard, it was developed by the Department of Defense to provide high level of security, cyber security measures. It's a comprehensive framework which has been designed to, safeguard, national assets of national security information. So it is basically to secure controlled unclassified information and also federal contract information. If it is classified information, then of course it's a different ballgame altogether. So it is to secure controlled but unclassified information. All right. So it is not that all those nuclear plants and codes and all, they are coming in a different stratosphere altogether. So that's a different, ball game altogether. So do not confuse that over here. Okay, somebody's dropped in a message over here for me, the full form of CMMC. Okay, so it is, I'm sorry, I should have covered that earlier. Cyber security maturity model certification. That's the full form. Cyber security maturity model certification. Maybe you should have mentioned that somewhere. Anyway, so all the organizations that work with the DoD, even their subcontractors are expected to comply with the CMMC. So even if you're directly not working with the DoD, that is the Department of Defense. In the US, you are supposed to be complying, even if you're not working directly. Via you're working, you're still required to comply with the CMMC. Plus, it's an industry best practice security practice that helps mitigate, cybersecurity threats in the industry. So even for your own organization, it's a good practice for you. So it's a collection of various processes and security implementation of various cybersecurity standards. So CMMC certification suggests the current level of maturity. Remember, the keyword over here is current. So like how, you have CMMI, so there are different levels of maturity in a company. We'll come to what are the different levels also. So it is not really like a pass or fail. It basically suggests the current level of maturity. That's what you have to understand. So CMMI, CMMC, the funda is the same. So there they have also in CMMI level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5I, and all those things. So that's what we have over here also. So the federal government issued a new version. In, the earlier one was 1.0. Now it is 2.0. It is supposed to come in effect from May 2023. And from July 2023, it is supposed to be in contracts. And that is where it is required. Companies are jumping onto CMMC 2.0. So the framework enhances the defense industrial base, all those various, contracts that are given us to thousands of subcontractors against evolving threats. Thousands. So these like same like as I mentioned, CMMI, CMMC. So now it is earlier it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basic, intermediate, good, proactive, advanced. Same like what you get to see under CMMI, but now in 2.0 it's only 3 levels: foundational, advanced, and expert. All right. So again, they have fine-tuned and controlled the number of practices, processes, all those things, but they have made it more streamlined. 1.05 requirements, CMMC 2.03 levels, sorry, not requirements, 3 levels, CMMI 5 levels, CMMC 1.05 levels, CMMC 2.0 3 levels. And here it has been now fine-tuned and coordinated with the NIST guidelines. So NIST guidelines, this is 110 practices to make it more simpler. But again, rest assured that simpler doesn't mean easier, all right? Simpler doesn't mean easier. So these are the levels. So this is getting more into details. So CMMC 1.0 included the 5 progressive levels from basic to advanced, and 2 and 4 intended as transition changes between 1, 3, and 5. But again, over here, there is foundation, which is the same as CMMC 1.0 level 1, advanced as level 3, and expert as level 5. So it eliminates all the maturity practices, eliminates all CMMC unique security practices. Now it is being more in parallel with, NIST SP 800 series. I'm sure that you must have, seen it, this series, and NIST SP 800 is supposed to be the Bible for information security, data security. If you haven't yet seen it, you should see it. So expert level, advanced level 2 is, which is the same as level 3 in CMMC, is mirroring SP 800 part 171. But expert level 3 is mirroring SP 800 part 172. Additional changes in CMMC 2.0 is that it allows self-assessments with an annual information by the defense-based company. Now, development of a time-bound enforceable plan of action or a risk treatment plan is needed. And again, these are the key changes from 1.0 to 3.0. It is one is compliance levels reduced from 5 to 3. It is now aligned with NIST guidelines. It is based on the type of data. The organization need to comply with the specific level of CMMC. Now, level 1 of CMMC 2.0, is more in control, is more in also in sync with the safeguard controls of the FAR. FAR is the Federal Acquisition Regulation, right? And the level 2 certification reduced from 130 to 110 requirements. And then independent assessment is required only for level 2, which is advanced. Now, this has to be done by a C3 PAO, that is CMMC certified, accredited organization, private accredited organization. And the self-assessment at level 1, self-assessment is there for level 1 and limited at level 2, which is advanced. So it removed a lot of processes from the CMMC 2.0. And then if you break down, it is these are the 3 hygiene levels: foundational, level 2, and level 3. So it is not necessary that you have to go to the expert level directly. And these are the cyber domains. It is very beautifully written. And if you're just a cybersecurity enthusiast, I would really request you to go through this. It contains 14 cybersecurity domains, 3 lesser than 1.0. So a domain, as you must understand, is just a group of security practices, based on common attributes, right? So now there's something like access control, awareness and training, audit accountability, configuration management, identification, authentication, incident response, maintenance, media protection. So these are the domains under NIST SP 800 series 171 and 172, depending on which level of CMMC you want to go ahead for. Now, over here, the 17 practices applies at maturity level 1, and the 110 practices apply at level 2 are referenced from the DFARS, which DFARS is Defense Federal Acquisition Regulation System to secure defense information and cyber incident response. So there is plus 110 requirements, at level 3. So there is just at level 1, there's just 17 practices. At level 2, there is 110 practices from SP 800 171 series, NIST guidelines, that is. which are referenced from the DFARS, that is Defense Federal Acquisition Regulation System. And then, but in level 3, there is 110 plus additional practices from the ST 800 series, level 172. So again, over here, if you can look at it, the type of data, highest priority, lowest priority, this is like a good summation of of how it looks like. Okay, so CUI is controlled unclassified information, as we saw earlier. So because CMMC applies to controlled unclassified information. So highest priority at the CUI level, a CUI level 3, it is the highest priority program with data critical to national security, and the assessment has to be done by the government-led assessor only, or government-led assessment, and frequency is every 3 years. For level 2, this can be done by C3PAOs every 3 years and self-assessment every year, and there you can even have companies like ours who can help with the self-assessment. And level 1 means data not critical at all for national security. So level 2, data non-prioritized acquisitions with data not critical to national security. And level 2, advanced, where it has to be done by a C3PAO, it has to be prioritized acquisition with data critical to national security. So these are features of the upgraded CMMC 2.0 version. So focuses on critical requirements, streamlines the model. It was earlier too confusing. It is aligned now with the NIST, which is very, very interesting because now it's a globally accepted standard. So yes, one sec. So it is a globally acceptable standard now. And there is a reduced assessment cost because there is only 3 levels: foundational, advanced, and expert. Now let me tell you something from my side. Expert, not many companies will go for because it requires a super critical national security information, and the audits are led by the government. And then, of course, it is flexible implementation, that it can have a plan of action, milestone based implementation, allows waiver under specific limited circumstances. So this flexibility has come into the implementation. Now, who needs to comply? This is the most important part. So all defense contractors, manufacturers, and even small businesses involved in the defense industrial base. So subcontractors, subcontractors, everything who work with the prime contractors are those contractors that work directly with the DoD, Department of Defense. So any contractor or vendor dealing directly or indirectly with the Department of Defense has to get CMMC certified. It is applicable, includes all suppliers across every tier of the supply chain. So any DIB vendor or subcontractor that handles CUI and FCI will have to demonstrate. Now, okay, that's a good question somebody asked. I'm sorry, guys. You should have included abbreviation slide somewhere. I mentioned about CUI, which is Controlled Unclassified Information. What is FCI? So FCI is basically federal contract information, which is really not very critical information or non-prioritized content. Now, only those companies that are exempt from CMMC are those who produce commercial off-the-shelf products like Amazon or Microsoft, Oracle. They don't need to get certified on CMMC. Okay, so wherever the prime contractor sends selected information or lower. So, okay, if you are asking, okay, that is Mary. Okay, okay, she's asking basically on who is going to, her question basically is who's going to identify which level you have to. Okay, great question, and the answer is the same which is there in say a PCI DSS or whether it is a SOC 2 or a GDPR. All these that we do is that you have to ask it from your principles. Okay, you can say I fall in the foundational category, same like
we signed up a few contracts, contracts on SAQ and PCI DSS 4.0 and all, and they were saying we don't have a lot of transactions, hardly a few thousand transactions. So as per PCI guidelines, if we come under level 3 or level 2, so we simply tell them you are not a deciding factor. The deciding factor is the issuer or the acquirer. Mostly the issuer or the acquirer will be the or the payment brand. The best is the payment brand. Then you can ask the acquirer. If not, then the issuer. So they came back and said that now they have asked us to do a full-fledged PCI rollout. So same way, if you want to understand what CMMC level you are applying to, ask your prime contractor or your principal contractor, the one from whom you. So the DoD again specifies the level of contractor compliance the contractor has to meet, and businesses not working with the government or DoD should also consider complying with the CMMC. It's an industry best practice. So importance, securing unclassified information cannot be underestimated. Okay, because you need to look up the DoD's definition of unclassified information. It doesn't mean that you can just use it in whichever way you want. Now, once a contract is there in place, CMMC will be a mandate, and it covers processes for reducing potential data breaches. It improves the efficiency and security for government and contractors. And if you are an SMB, like thousands and thousands of SMBs work with the Department of Defense, including with the large defense contractors, like the Stark Industries type. If you're working with them, then you also need to get certified on CMMC. Now, whether it is required, I would really suggest you not to wait for the last minute before you get your notification on the CMMC requirements and that you are required to have CMMC in place or not. It is required by the federal government contractor to have at least CMMC level 1 by year 2026 minimum, all of them. And it's very much likely that in this coming decade, this will become a standardized practice across the government, not just a Department of Defense. So please don't take it lightly. So benefits of implementing, you get access to DoD contracts and support contracting. You end up with a very robust data security, better incident recovery, collaborative risk approach, builds your trust and confidence, and improved cyber security programs. So again, one of the key takeaways, a few of the key takeaways: suppliers working with the federal government and defense agencies must adhere to CMMC requirements, and proactively they have to get it in place before next year. By 2023, it will be mentioned explicitly in the contracts. So thank you so much again for sharing your time. This is just a initial primer. We'll be having much more detailed discussions on CMMC. And as you quit, please, general reminder on the survey, please to share your opinions and suggestions for future webinars. That's our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page. Thousands of people are following. Please stay in touch. And there is our YouTube page with more than 2,000 subscribers. And that's our contact information. In case you have any more doubts, we can definitely take it ahead from there. Do drop us a line and we are there with you to help you understand the standard better. I really hope that this webinar has been a great help to you. I again apologize for whatever audio disruptions, but thank you again for sticking around. Take care. Bye-bye.